Have you ever seen someone judged before they even had a chance to prove themselves? Today's story will break your heart, but it will also remind you that miracles sometimes arrive when we least expect them. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss more stories that inspire and move you. Sarah had rehearsed her answers 100 times in front of the mirror. As a single mother, every opportunity mattered. She knew this interview could change everything for her and her 6-year-old daughter, Emily. For weeks, she had sent applications and heard nothing back, but this time, she had been shortlisted for a position at one of the most prestigious companies in the city. It wasn't just a job, it was a chance at stability, a chance to rebuild her life after years of struggle, and most importantly, a chance to give Emily the kind of future she deserved. But fate had its own challenges. That morning, Sarah's babysitter had called in sick at the last minute. Panic had surged through her chest. She couldn't afford to miss this interview, not after all the nights she spent awake worrying about unpaid bills and overdue rent. With no one else to turn to, Sarah had taken a deep breath, held Emily's tiny hand, and whispered, "Sweetheart, you're coming with Mommy today. Just stay quiet and be on your best behavior." Emily, with her wide brown eyes full of innocence, nodded eagerly. She was always her mother's greatest supporter, always sensing the weight Sarah carried. Clutching a small stuffed rabbit in her arms, Emily walked into the gleaming glass building beside her mom. The receptionist at the front desk glanced down at them, her gaze lingering a little too long on Emily, but Sarah smiled politely, hiding her nerves, and asked for directions to the interview room. The conference room was cold, not in temperature but in atmosphere. 3 interviewers sat at a long polished table, their expressions sharp, their pens ready. As Sarah walked in with Emily quietly holding her hand, the eyes of the panel immediately shifted. Whispers passed between them, disapproving frowns forming before Sarah could even introduce herself. "Excuse me," one of them said firmly, his voice carrying authority. "This is a professional setting. Why did you bring a child here?" Sarah's cheeks burned. She explained, her voice trembling but steady enough to hold dignity, "I had no one to leave her with today. I didn't want to miss the opportunity. She'll sit quietly. I promise she won't disturb anyone." But instead of understanding, a woman in a gray suit leaned forward, her tone sharp with judgment. "This shows a lack of preparation and responsibility. We need employees who can prioritize the company, not someone distracted with personal matters." The words hit Sarah like a blow. She glanced at Emily, who lowered her eyes, squeezing the rabbit tighter as if she somehow understood she was the reason her mother was being scolded. Sarah wanted to cry, but she straightened her back. "I assure you, I am more than capable of balancing work and family. Please, at least let me show you what I can bring to this company." But the rejection came swift and merciless. "I'm sorry," another interviewer said dismissively, stacking his papers. "We cannot proceed with this interview. Thank you for coming." Sarah's heart shattered. She had worked so hard just to be seen, and once again, she was pushed aside because of circumstances beyond her control. She reached for Emily's hand, ready to leave, swallowing back tears that threatened to escape. At that moment, the door opened. A tall man in a tailored navy suit entered the room. His presence immediately shifted the air. The interviewers sat straighter, their earlier arrogance replaced by sudden deference. Sarah didn't recognize him, but the awe on the panel's faces was undeniable. He was clearly someone important. The man's gaze landed on Sarah and then on Emily, who shyly peeked up at him. He raised an eyebrow. "What's going on here?" The woman in the gray suit quickly stood, her voice nervous. "Sir, this applicant brought her child to the interview. We were just concluding." "Concluding?" His voice was calm but carried authority that silenced the room. Without giving her a chance to speak, the interviewers exchanged uneasy glances. Sarah stood frozen, her heart pounding. She had no idea who this man was, but the power he held was undeniable. He stepped closer, his eyes softening as he noticed the worry etched on Sarah's face. "I'm Alexander Carter," he said, extending his hand to her. "CEO of this company." The room went still. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. The CEO. The millionaire who built the empire she was so desperate to be a part of. "I believe," Alexander continued, his tone sharp now as he turned to the panel, "that true talent should never be dismissed because of personal struggles. Especially when those struggles come from trying to provide for family." His gaze returned to Sarah. "Tell me, what position are you applying for?" Sarah stammered, "I'm marketing manager." "Then let's hear your ideas," he said firmly. "Right here, right now." The panel looked stunned, but no one dared to argue. Sarah took a deep breath. This was her chance, the one she thought had slipped away. She spoke with passion, laying out her strategies, her vision, her creativity. Every word came from her heart, fueled by years of experience and determination. Emily sat silently beside her, watching her mother shine. When Sarah finished, the room was silent. Alexander studied her for a long moment before a smile spread across his face. "Impressive. Very impressive." He turned to the panel. "You were ready to dismiss her because she brought her child. But what I see is someone resourceful, resilient, and unwilling to quit despite the odds. Those are exactly the qualities this company needs." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. For the first time in so long, someone wasn't just seeing her struggles, they were seeing her strength. The interviewers muttered agreements, clearly embarrassed. Alexander crouched slightly to meet Emily's gaze. "And you must be Emily. You know, your mom is one of the bravest people I've met." Emily blushed, hugging her rabbit tighter. That day, Sarah didn't just walk out with hope, she walked out with a second chance at life. Before I share what happened next, if you believe everyone deserves a fair chance no matter their circumstances, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories that reveal the power of kindness and determination. Got it? Thumbs up. You want chapter 2 but in 100 words, short, emotional continuation. Here's a compact version. Chapter 2. Sarah started her new role the following week, carrying gratitude in her heart. Every challenge she faced, she remembered Alexander's faith in her. Emily became a little star in the office, loved by everyone, and Sarah's hard work quickly proved she wasn't just capable, she was exceptional. Alexander often checked in, offering guidance and encouragement. What began as a moment of rejection transformed into a journey of respect, growth, and second chances. Sarah realized that sometimes life closes a door only to open one with greater blessings. If you felt inspired, don't forget to like and subscribe.